We welcome in this morning Ted Czech, who's the author of Saving the Beast, A Recovering Reporter Reflects on America's Broken Media and How to Fix It. And Ted has been a reporter for a long time, and then, as he said, he's recovering now. So good morning, Ted. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Gary.
Always
all
good.
Right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to have you on, buddy. And anyway, I was looking at some questions this morning. You offered some things this week. You and I were kind of texting back and forth. But depending on who wins the election, everybody's trying to attack this election from every different aspect they possibly could. But depending on who wins the election, you posed a great question. How differently will the media be treated? I mean, if it's Trump, for example, would you get more news conferences like his first term? Will he be as aggressive toward the so-called fake media? If Harris wins, will we even see a full-blown press conference where she takes any and all questions from the media? What are your thoughts on that this morning? Because I thought it was a really interesting premise that you have there.
Well, Gary, I got to say, first of all, and I think I speak for most people when I say I'm going to be happy when they stop bombarding my phone with political texts. I mean, come on, please. And it doesn't matter how many times you block them and send them to the junk file.
Exactly.
You just get more and more. So, I mean, it has been a very interesting, season here with this campaign. But yeah, back to your question or the question that we talked about. I think we will see, if Trump gets in, we're going to see a more adversarial relationship with the media. But, you may not like what he says or his delivery, but you can tell that he understands they have a job to do. And so that's why he also excels at the kind of the free for all, just throw any question at me kind of thing. During this campaign, we haven't seen many tense moments with the media, but I think, I don't know what Jim Acosta's doing these days, but maybe they'll bring him back and that whole rivalry will be, ramped up again. But yeah, Harris, we still haven't seen any, straight, legitimate news conference.
Right.
Even the thing I saw, the most recent thing I stumbled across was something with Maria Shriver, where somebody from the crowd said, "Can I ask a question?" And she said, "No, you can't ask a question." So.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still so Harris still hasn't done that, hasn't opened herself up to that, and maybe we'll never see that from her if she gets in office.
You've been in the media for a long time, and I mean, you're the whole idea of the fourth estate was to kind of hold the political world to account, at least some accountability. And to me, it's always, are you willing to ask the next question? No matter how uncomfortable it is, can you do it in a way where, people, like for me, I always say, ask this question. This is the next logical question. And for some reason they don't. And again, I don't know is it the media is so agenda-oriented now, opinion-oriented? And again, I'm throwing out generalities here, and I don't mean to indict everybody. But your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you this. The recently we heard about the Washington Post, who said that they are not going to endorse any candidate, and actually that apparently came down from on high. It came from Jeff Bezos himself. He said you are not to endorse anyone, not Trump, not Harris, no one. And they were upset. I guess the editorial board, because they wanted to endorse Harris, but I always felt, in 25 years as a reporter, I always felt uncomfortable when a news source would endorse anyone. I thought, well, there's no more clear-cut way to show your true colors than to endorse a candidate. Oh, you endorse this one? Well, clearly you're leaning that way, and vice versa. If you want to exercise true journalism, don't endorse anyone. Just lay everything out there. Maybe allow a columnist to write something, endorsing a candidate, but not the paper or the station or the cable network itself.
Right. It's interesting. Someone said that to me the other day. I said, "Do you endorse anybody?" I said, "No, I never have. And I have a reason. I mean, my reason is basically I don't like to insult the intelligence of anybody else. I don't want them doing something because I said it. Because sometimes you get locked on to personalities. And again, I'm not that big a deal, but I'm just saying that you get locked on to personalities and you follow along because they tell you to do it. That to me is not a good reason to vote. To me, you should vote because you've kind of checked things out. You have reasons for it. Who's going to do the very best job for you as a citizenry. And I lay out a lot of things, and I pose a lot of questions for people. But I would feel uncomfortable, as you said, to endorse anybody because I have my own personal reasons why I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote, and people can guess what you're going to do, so forth. That's up to them. But from my standpoint, it's not going to be because I say, please vote for this person because I am. That seems, first of all, it seems kind of arrogant to me, and second of all, it just kind of is an insult to people that they can't pick somebody on their own. Your thoughts on that?
Sure. Yeah, and I think going back to my book, Saving the Beast, that's what I talk about there. Is that mainstream media has abandoned critical thinking. They believe, and this is very insulting to the American public, but they believe that the American public apparently can't make up their own minds, so they have to tell them what and how to think. And endorsing a candidate would fall under that, I believe. Also, I think you're just alienating, an entire large group of a possible readership or viewership by doing that. But yeah, folks have their own minds, and they can. The idea is to lay everything out there for people, as a journalist. Lay everything out there for people and say, hey, look, this is everything we know at this point in time. These are all the sides of an issue. One side or two sides, three sides, however many sides there are to an issue. This is everything we know. And then people can kind of use that as a jumping off point to do their own research if they want, to do their own investigating.
That sounds way too healthy. What the heck's the matter with you, Ted? Anyway, way too healthy.
Hey, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy. I feel that, I've got hope.
Well, and that's the way.
Hopefully, we can get back to that.
The way it should be. Saving the Beast, a recovering reporter reflects on America's broken media and how to fix it. Where can people find that, Ted? I ask you every week, but I always like to remind people that it's a great book to pick up.
Thank you. Yeah, everywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You can get it, and I'm talking about online.
Right.
And anywhere where they're selling books, pretty much, you can find my book.
And Ted Czech, CZECH, and he's on with us on a regular basis, 6:35 on Monday mornings. His most important job of all. He'll tell you that, I'm sure. Anyway, Ted, great to have you in. 8 days to go to the election. Are we going to hook up again next Monday? Is that going to work out for you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
It'll be a day before. We'll get your thoughts on all of the craziness that happens between now and then. And
there'll be a lot. Yeah.
And what comes after. Yeah. Ted Czech, again. Check out his book. Ted, I'll look forward to talking to you again 6:35 next Monday. Take care, my friend.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Ted Czech here on WSBA.